We see, our protagonist, was in the middle of doing the deed with his girlfriend, both of them at their peak, when everything suddenly cuts out, leaving him blanking out mid-moment, and thinking what the hell, he was right in the middle of a good time, so why did everything suddenly go pitch black? And just like that, there goes his electricity bill for the month as he senses something covering his eyes. Using his hand, he pulls away whatever is blocking his vision, and immediately checks himself, only to realize he is now a mushroom, and why that happened is completely unknown, so he pats himself down all over, and yeah, there is no mistake, he has clearly become a mushroom, leaving him just standing there confused. He looks into the water and sees his reflection, reacting internally with what the hell is this, and then connects the dots, realizing that right before this he was having a good time, which leads him to the wild conclusion that he might have actually jerked himself to death and reincarnated as a mushroom monster. Now fully processing the situation, he mentally shouts that this has got to be a joke, questioning how he is supposed to pick up girls looking like this, and demanding his handsome face back. Right then, a voice echoes out calling him King Oyster Bro, and he turns to see what looks like a hot, beautiful, and sexy woman waiting there, making him instantly think the mushroom dungeon actually has some insanely attractive girls, but when he rubs his eyes and looks again, reality hits and what is actually in front of him is another mushroom. The mushroom questions why he is saying so many weird things today, calling him King Oyster Bro again, and our protagonist realizes he was just thinking with his third leg before asking what he usually says. The female mushroom explains that mushroom folks usually only say things like intruders, we will slaughter you, and similar lines, which leaves him confused and reacting with a straight-up what. Suddenly in the background multiple mushrooms pop up shouting intruders, and the intruders reveal themselves as a giant foot steps in, followed by smoke coming out of a creature's mouth, showing that they are orcs, specifically a level 1 orc warrior and a female orc archer. The female orc questions whether they will really be fine with just the two of them and no healer, while the orc warrior confidently reassures her that the monsters in this dungeon are the lowest level, completely brain dead, and operate on fixed patterns in both lines and movement. Right after that, a level 1 little shroom appears shouting slaughter you, and tries to attack, but the orc warrior casually slashes it in a single strike, cutting it clean in half, and then points it out as proof of what he was saying. The female archer comments that it looks like another speedrun day, as more level 1 shrooms appear, and rush toward them shouting they will slaughter you, only for the orc warrior to wipe them out instantly in a completely one-sided massacre. Watching all of this from a distance, our protagonist questions why the mushroom NPCs just charge in like that, without even trying to run when they are clearly outmatched. The female mushroom explains that mushroom folks are just NPCs, everything they do is pre-programmed, and they do not have the freedom that players have, which makes him question what players are, and whether those two orcs are actually players, since he thought players were usually humans. She responds that she is just an NPC with a few extra lines of exposition, and that is all she knows, but right in the middle of their conversation, an arrow suddenly flies past. The arrow is revealed to be shot by the female orc, triggering instant panic as our protagonist starts running, while yelling oh shit run, but then notices the female mushroom is not moving at all, forcing him to go back to her and question why she is just standing there. She calmly explains that fleeing is not an option in their programming, which pushes him to extend his hand and tell her to grab it, and she agrees, reaching out as they both grab each other's hands. At that moment, something unusual happens as a barrage of system warnings appears, repeatedly showing data anomaly notifications flooding the space, but our protagonist rejects it completely, saying screw the programming, and screw the anomalies as reality itself begins to distort. Ignoring everything, he grips her hand and pushes forward through the anomalies, forcing her to move while prioritizing survival, and the two of them actually start running. The female orc archer notices this and questions since when mushroom monsters run away, while the orc warrior casually dismisses it as a bug and says he will report it to the admins later. The female orc insists that bug or not, they cannot let the two shrooms escape, while the orc warrior decides to go log the bug and tells her not to die, which she brushes off confidently. Meanwhile, the protagonist and the female mushroom hide, and he quickly asks if there are any usable weapons around, only to be told that mushroom monsters are programmed to fight bare-handed. At that moment he notices a chest nearby and approaches it, wondering if it is a treasure chest that might contain a weapon, but the female mushroom explains that those chests are exclusively designed for players and mushroom folks cannot open them. Even so, he attempts to open it, triggering another flood of system warnings about data anomalies, but just like before, he forces through it, and the chest actually opens. Seeing this, the female mushroom is shocked because the old King Oyster Bro would never have been able to do something like that, making her question why he is suddenly so different. Meanwhile, he is busy going through the chest and reacting to the loot, noting that there is a lot of good stuff inside, but right then the female mushroom notices another arrow flying straight toward him. As the arrow closes in, something unexpected happens as her body starts moving on its own, despite knowing that saving teammates is not part of a mushroom monster's programming, yet she still steps in. The arrow is inches away from hitting him, but she rushes forward, driven by the thought that she will not let anyone hurt King Oyster Bro, and jumps directly into its path, taking the full hit. The arrow pierces through her as blood splashes out, and seeing this, the protagonist is left completely shocked. The female orc archer, unfazed, immediately prepares a second shot and fires another arrow straight at him, but this time, he has had enough. From the chest he pulls out a blade and manages to deflect the incoming arrow, stopping it mid-attack. Watching from above, the female orc archer is stunned, realizing that a bottom-tier mushroom monster just deflected her arrow, and then notices the open treasure chest, which should only be accessible to players. At that point, she fully processes what is happening, and recognizes that this is not normal at all, concluding that this is one massive bug.